and listeners on a doggone good-looking Monday morning here, July 14th at Oldie 640 KTIB. The present temperature is 81 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 2 miles an hour. Flag on the flagpole in front of the courthouse says, not yet, dead still. Humidity, 75%. Barometric pressure, 29.92 inches of mercury and steady. Dew point, 72 degrees. Visibility, 8 miles. Sunrise this morning was at 6:12 a.m. Sunset this afternoon will be at 8:06 p.m. Forecast for today calls for scattered thunderstorms with a high of 92 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 50%. Locally heavy rainfall is possible in the showers. So that's your weather forecast for today here, July the 14th, Monday at Oldie 640 KTIB, 108 Green Street, historic downtown Thibodaux, Louisiana. Birthdays and anniversaries, give us a call. Always happy to celebrate them with you. The number into the dialogue room, 447-6409, 447-6409, and the time is 7:04. As always, we ask that you keep in your thoughts and in your prayers truly America's finest young men and women who are in harm's way, particularly those in the Persian Gulf area, be it Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, wherever, South Korea, wherever they are. We ask that you keep them close to you. Some of the ones we want to pray for, the Marine Corps guys, Brady DeLotte, who is back and in the Carolinas, Matthew Barrett, who is in Denver, and Michael Lebo, who is in Fallujah. My Army guys, Aaron Bai, who was deployed last month back to Iraq, Jared Jerwa, Benjamin Hunter, Vinnie Verrett, Gabe Williamson, Joseph Fontenot, and John Dupair, all of the United States Army and all overseas. We ask that you keep them close to you, keep them in your thoughts, and definitely keep them in your prayers. And one day, hopefully, before too long, we won't have a list. Hey, all my commuter guys, Hugh, Philip, Randy, Nancy, Joe, Joseph, Stephen, Perry, John Richard, Chip Roussel, Alderman Chip Roussel, Johnny Norris with his sidekick Moonshine Maye, Cotty Campbell, and Thibodaux's own Fire Chief Dan Nakia, Travis, and all you guys and gals, and not just the guys and gals from Sunshine, but all of you that commute. We ask that you be careful. Just drive defensively. Be careful on the way there and be careful on the way back. Thibodaux, of course, a big commuter town, a big bedroom community. Lots and lots of people leave here in the morning and come back at night. And I want everybody that leaves to get home safe. So drive defensively, kick back for a little bit, slow down, conserve a little fuel. Say an extra prayer and let's everybody come home safe tonight. This day, July 14th, the 196th day of the year. Fact of the day is Asia, its cultures and religions. Asia is the birthplace of all the world's major religions. How about that? Hang on, let me get this call. Good morning, you're live, KTIB. Good morning, Doug.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to...
Good.
Tomorrow's an All-Star game.
Yeah, sure is.
Sure is, because that's what I was thinking. And if I have a score on it, I'll bring it up to your attention.
Come on, American League.
Yeah, National League, too. That's why they call it different, you know?
My Yankees ain't doing too good.
American League going to be playing that.
You bet.
And they're pulling for different teams.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. If you want me to talk to you tomorrow, I will.
Give me a call.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Major League. We got Gibbens Robichaux in the house this morning.
Good morning,
Good morning, Gib. God dog it, we missed you. We'll get to Gib in just a minute. We couldn't get him the last Friday of the month, last month, and he ain't gonna be there this month. So we got him in the middle this time. You travel too much, Gib.
Top and rodeo, man.
Asia is the birthplace of all the world's major religions, but only Christianity developed outside of Asia. Asia is the birthplace of the world's earliest civilizations, such as China and India, largely isolated from each other and the rest of the world by barriers of deserts, mountains, and oceans. So these cultures developed independently for thousands of years. So, yeah, Asia, the birthplace of just a lot of things, and lots of rich culture came out of Asia in the last many centuries from that region. Events on this day, 1867, Alfred Nobel demonstrated dynamite for the first time at a quarry in England. 1868, Alvin J. Fellows of New Haven, Connecticut, patented the tape measure. 1914, Robert H. Goddard of Worcester, Massachusetts, patented liquid rocket fuel. 1933, Germany outlawed all political parties except the Nazi Party, and in 1995, the MP3 format was named. I still don't know what that is. I know it's got something to do with music, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, that was patented. That was formed in 1995. Births on this day, William Hanna, an American cartoonist. 1912, Woody Guthrie, American folk singer and songwriter. 1913, Gerald R. Ford, 38th President of the United States of America, was born. 1917, Douglas Edwards, American newscaster, TV's first evening news anchor. 1927, John Chancellor, an American radio and TV newscaster. In 1932, Rosie Greer, American football player, actor, and minister. He played for the Rams. Remember that? He was part of the Big Four up front. Deaths on this day, 1965, Adlai Stevenson, United States political leader who helped found the United Nations. And 1998, Dick McDonough, an American fast food entrepreneur. How about that? I thought Ray Kroc founded McDonald's.
I thought so, too. Is that what it said?
Yeah, it says Dick McDonough, American fast food entrepreneur. Who knows? 1998. McDonald's was before 1998.
Yeah.
Must be another fast food entrepreneur.
I think Kroc bought McDonald's from those
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no clue. Anyway, Cherry Books invites you to celebrate. Hang on a second. Let me get this call. Good morning. You're live, KTIB.
Good morning.
Good morning, William Taylor.
I wanted to bring out two notes to you. You just mentioned Mr. Ray Kroc.
Yep.
What happened was he was basically the man who took over McDonald's and made it a national franchise.
Made it a chain. Okay.
Yeah, the actual McDonald brothers did start the restaurant chain.
Okay.
In the 1950s. Also, you mentioned Rosie Greer.
Yep.
The squad on the L.A. Rams he was part of was called the Fearsome Four.
That was it. I wanted to say Fab Four, but I knew it wasn't that. Yep.
Him, Deacon Jones, Merlin Olsen, and Lamar Lundy.
I remember them well.
Was part of the team.
Big dudes.
And I tell you what, you seemed excited this morning when you said good morning because I got a call from my mother. She had the radio on, and as soon as you said it, all the cats ran out the house thinking we had an air raid. It was...
Hey, it's time to get up and get rolling, man. The sun's up. No, cats included.
Yeah. But two happy birthday notes. My father has one today.
William Taylor, happy birthday from your son, Bill.
Actually, he's Bill.
Oh, that's right. You're William. You're right. Got it backwards. Oh, good.
And Uncle Larry Hebert has a birthday today.
Him today, too.
Yeah, so...
All right, good.
And also it's Bastille Day.
Yes. Yes.
And yesterday was the birthday of the great Danny Abramowitz as well.
Now, that I didn't know.
Yeah, so... All right.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Hello.
I'm going to do it.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Fearsome Foursome, that was it. I wanted to say Fab Four, but that had to do with some freshman on a basketball team a few years ago, I think. Anyway, Cherry Books invites you to celebrate the release of Ellen Hopkins' newest title, Identical, at 11:30 p.m. August the 1st for a release party, and also Stephanie Myers' newest title, Breaking Dawn. Join us for a midnight release party at 11:30 p.m. on August the 4th at Cherry Books. Reserve your copy today. Ken Wells' book, The Good Pirates of the Forgotten Bayous, is be out on August the 29th. How a plucky courtier of Louisiana shrimp boat captains faced down the most destructive hurricane in U.S. history, only to realize that the struggle to preserve the centuries-old culture had just begun. And boy, I tell you what, Ken Wells, local guy, does well. Came out of Houma, went to Nichols, and just an accolade of jobs and titles and just book writing and articles and just good things that happened to him. What a guy. Scrapbooking in your library today, July 14th at 4:30 p.m. The Lockport branch of the Lafourche Parish Public Library presents its scrapbook connection. By the end of the session, participants will have completed a star-studded scrapbook page. All supplies will be provided to complete the page. However, scrapbookers should bring a 5x7 summer picture for the project. The scrapbook connection is open to both experienced and novice scrapbookers, and anyone can register, but you need to call 532-3158. 532-3158. That's for you scrapbookers. Farmers Market, Jean Lafitte, 7 a.m. every Saturday morning. Locally grown fresh produce, herbs, plants, seafood, fresh seafood, baked goods, toys, quiche pies, handcrafted candles, soaps, jams, jellies, and honey. That's early. Got to get there early to get the good stuff. And from the Lafourche Parish Registrar of Voters, public service announcement. This is Voter Education Week. We would appreciate it, and they're telling me if you could promote our efforts for Voter Education Week through your announcements, and we're going to do that. The Secretary of State is conducting an annual Voter Education Week. The Louisiana Secretary of State's office is using Louisiana's annual Voter Education Week to remind voters of the major changes going into effect for the fall elections this year. So during the week of July 14th to 18th, Secretary of State Jay Darden will join elections officials throughout the state in spreading the message of closed congressional primaries and the importance of accurate voter registration. All right, this week, Monday today, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Registrar of Voters' main office, that's 307 West 4th Street in Thibodaux. You will be conducting, as part of Voter Education Week, any individuals, groups, or organizations can give them a call at 447-3256. Tuesday, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., they'll be at the Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission, 4484 Louisiana Highway 1, at the corner of US 90 in Raceland. Wednesday, July 16th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Choctaw Public Library, 1887 Choctaw Road in Choctaw. Thursday, July 17th, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, South Lafourche Public Library, 16241 East Main Street in Galliano. And Friday, July 18th, 2008, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, Nicholls State University, the Student Union in Thibodaux, Louisiana. So that's Voter Education Week here. We just lost doggone Voter Education Week here in and around Lafourche Parish. We're going from open primaries to closed primaries. They're saying it's not difficult, but you do need to get up to snuff on it, so give them a call at the office, and they'll be happy to help you. Gibbens Robichaux, welcome to the program.
I got a word for you. I know you love words are the magic of the mind.
Absolutely.
You know? Exponentially.
What'd that mean?
Nutrients are exponentially.
They got plenty of them.
And in this morning's paper, they got nutrients tend to multiply exponentially. Well, they claim they have 1 million of them.
That means there's no rhyme or reason to it, huh? No method to the madness, so to speak.
The SWAT team is out there this morning with their rifles to kill them, but they say they dive to go 100 feet, and they no telling where they'll come up. But the snipers shoot them. And of course, the caucuses block up the drainage.
They're still doing that in the city?
And they got under the 17th Street Canal, they got burrows that are destroying the whole thing, you know.
I tell you what, they got, man, oh man, what a nuisance. You know, they brought him in to help, to be a help, but boy, what a nuisance. Hold on, let me take this call. Good morning, you're live, KTIB.
Good morning, Mr. Gene. This is Ann Lusky. How you doing?
Good morning, Miss Ann. What's happening?
Hey, I know you need some dates for the Thibodaux Playhouse. So
Yeah.
I'm calling to give you those dates.
Great.
July 17th to July 20th. July 24th to July 27th.
17th to the 20th, 24th to the 27th. All right.
The two matinees are on Sunday, the 20th and the 27th. The rest are at 7:30.
20th and 27th, and the rest at 7:30. Boy, that ought to be easy to remember, huh?
How about that?
We got. Let's see. I think we got Norma coming on tomorrow. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
we do. That's a...
You the girl. Thank you.
Appreciate
it.
Next weekend.
You got it, babe.
Thanks. Okay.
Bye bye.
Boy, Thibodaux made national news, Gene. Are we back on?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thibodaux, excuse me, with this Manning Passing Academy, that was unbelievable. I went out there, 1,000 kids, imagine, coming into Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Oh, let me tell you, that is one of the finest things that could ever happen in this area.
They're the finest people you could want to know, all of them. When they interviewed them, you know, and it's just amazing how all that happens in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, they started trickling in Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday got going full force, and I think it ended Saturday night, huh?
The schedule was on the internet, and they got to go to mass and church services, and 2 or 3 servings of dinner. They got to feed all these kids.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Can you imagine?
And you got a staff of 200, so that's 1,200 or 1,400 people that they got to feed 3 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, and as Rob Bernardi was saying, in fact, I'm going to get Rob on and we'll talk about that. They've done it now for so long, this is the 3rd or 4th year, that they got it down pretty pat.
Yeah.
And logistics-wise, it's not near the nightmare that it used to be when they first started. But man, what a great boom for this area. What a way to get Thibodaux on the map in a positive way. You know, 3 of the finest men in sports.
That's right. Well, you and I have been around a long time, and it's hard to believe that 2 brothers could have the Super Bowl ring 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's such an early age, too.
That's a mess.
You know, I mean,
and that other brother would probably have been, if they hadn't had a back problem, he'd have probably made it, too.
Absolutely.
What you show you, what you can teach children, they're blotters.
Yep.
And you can teach them I bet you 3 or 4 years old, he had them in the backyard throwing that football, huh?
I bet, he said no, but I bet you.
Yeah, he said
I bet you kind of leaned his, leaned.
Because that was his whole life.
Absolutely.
That's all they heard,
you
know.
But just fine young man and takes after mom and dad, of course. Archie and Olivia, just pillars of the community in New Orleans, and what a long way from Drew, Mississippi, I think is where he came from. And
what about our friend with the Green Bay Packers?
Brett Favre from Kiln, Mississippi.
He just can't give it up. 17 years
back.
That ball, he wants to come back.
Yeah,
now they won't take him back, or he has to go to some other team and let him go.
You know, in all of the sports, sports shows are saying he's probably got a couple of years left, so he'll end up somewhere if he wants to come back. I guarantee you, somebody.
The kickers are the ones that last long until 42, 43 maybe, huh?
Yeah.
What was his name then?
George Blanda.
Yeah, George Blanda, huh?
Oakland Raiders.
All of that? That's amazing.
I don't remember a lot, believe me.
Well, of course, kickers don't exert very much energy.
No.
They can go till 50 maybe, you know?
Yeah, and but Favre's had a good a good career. Not too many injuries from what I understand, and he's probably got a couple more years with him.
Yeah.
So the word is exponentially. That means plenty, huh?
That means you don't know how many. You don't know. They got 1 million of them, but it's amazing that they're out there this morning. But they're burrowing into the canal, and that's bad for the, here we are trying to stop the 17th Street Canal from leaking, and they're digging holes.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're
sinkholes on the other side.
Yeah, they're just a mess,
You know, when that storm hit, all you needed was a little opening, 6-inch opening in the canal.
That's it.
And
yeah.
The whole Gulf came in.
Yeah, it'll start all over again. But
so what I really came this morning to talk to you about was the surname of Thibodaux.
All right.
This is amazing. It's derived from the ancient German personal name Thibaud, Thiebaud, which means bold or audacious, and that's what Jean Richard is. Bold and audacious, whatever audacious means.
What the heck audacious means?
I don't know. Sure of yourself, I think.
I don't know. I have no clue.
You sure?
You can tell me anything right now, Gil. I believe you because I have no idea.
The name is a compound of the German words Theo, meaning people, and Bald, B-A-L-D, meaning bold. The name was one of the most popular personal names among the tribes that roamed across Europe during the Dark Ages. As a result of their wanderings, various forms of this personal name took root in widespread areas of Europe. The great popularity of the personal name Thibodaux made it almost inevitable that it would eventually develop into a hereditary surname of the patronymic variety. The complete lack of spelling rules and the many changes caused by dialect and language differences led to the variety of spellings. Among the most common are Thibodaux, A-U-L-T, Thibodaux, T-E-A-U without the X, and then Thibodaux.
And it's E-A-U-X and A-U-X right here locally.
Right,
so that's where
the X was added on by the French.
Okay, that's where Thibodaux came from.
That's right. The name's roots are Germanic, but the name itself is unquestionably French.
And of course, the roots of this area, German and French, basically. The Acadians and the Germans descent. I mean, that's the two biggest. And Paul Leslie, if you listen and you call me and fill me in and get me straight on that, but I think the two biggest influences in this area are the German and the French influence.
German and the French, sure. And Spanish in there, too. It says here the name, the root was Germanic, but during the Napoleonic era, a noted French politician, Claire Thibodaux,
Go ahead.
was dubbed a count of the empire by Napoleon I. In the year 1796, he served as president of the Council of 500. Some 20 years later, he was sent into exile. He was not allowed to return to France until 1830. The coat of arms borne by Count Claire Thibodaux shows a red shield on which a silver lion stands on his hind legs, supporting a gold column with his forelegs. Do you have one of those?
What's that?
What do you call them?
Coat of arms?
Coat of arms, yeah, coat
Man,
of
I
arms.
barely got a blazer, much less a coat on. What you
don't
talking
like
about?
coats anyway.
No, I don't like it. I don't even. Let's see. Do I have a suit? Yeah, I do. I bought a suit at I bought a suit at Johnny's.
You did? Yeah.
No.
What?
Yeah, I did. I bought one for Katie's wedding. No, I got one of those light blue suits. I bought one for Katie's wedding. Yeah.
I can't see you. Oh, you got to go to a wedding.
I already did. It's back in the closet. It'll be there for the next 20 years. No, I barely got a blazer, man, much less a coat of arms. You crazy?
The Thibodaux, the name Thibodaux is becoming famous all over the country. There's a Lake Thibodaux in Montana. And of course, I told you about Perry Como's daughter's named Terry Thibodaux. And her mother-in-law is a genealogist, and she told me these things. But it's amazing how derivation over the years, especially when it's not written down, how this name can change, you see.
Oh, absolutely.
We are bold and audacious. You and I are both bold and audacious.
Probably still are, huh?
And next time
whatever that
take me
is.
a month to research that. What audacious?
Next month you come back and tell me about it.
I think audacious means kind of sure of yourself, maybe a little
I don't know.
bold. Bold, you know what bold means.
You could tell me it was a Nutri-Gib, I believe you, because I don't know.
You're very bold. You're exponentially Jean Richard.
But, Schuyler Thibodaux, of course, founded this city, and you got to do something interesting you were talking about just a while ago, the street names.
Oh, yeah. I have an old map here that shows that, of course, St. Louis and Patriot are still here. St. Philip and Green Street. You know where Green Street is?
Yes, right here.
Focus. Is it Focus?
Focus.
And Morange. But the West 4th used to be Thibodaux Street.
West 4th Street?
Uh-huh. That's the one.
The one right past Main Street, right past 3rd.
Street, yeah.
All right.
And then West 5th was St. Bridget Street. And West 6th was St. Michael Street. Then they quit naming them after that.
They probably ran out of saints.
Yeah, that's right. But look, see, they called it the Terrebonne Canal that came into Canal Street, Terrebonne Canal.
Right, used to come all the way to the bayou.
All the way to the bayou. It was a big corridor of trade and photographers and people coming up and down the bayou. They finally shut it down.
I want to say I remember when that canal was there. Would that be possible? At least part of it, maybe back at the track, when it was still open.
Are you much older than me,
yeah, right.
I don't remember.
When it was a shell road, wasn't that the early 50s or something?
50s,
At least the back part?
The back part. I don't remember the canal itself coming. If you drive down far enough, you can see the remnants of what's left of there on the way out of Thibodaux, you know. The way you're going out of Thibodaux, you can see the remnants of what Terrebonne Canal was. And then it became Canal Boulevard.
But it was all open at one time up until the bayou, right?
Remember, I was listening to myself the other day. It was on Channel 10 when I was on One-on-One.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to remember the two sides. Henry Clay Avenue was one side, and Canal Street was the other side. Henry Clay was on this side, Henry Clay Street, but it combined into
Canal Boulevard.
Beautiful Canal Boulevard. But the traffic, unbelievable.
Well, it was like, as we were talking about, it was all shell roads and dust roads.
That's right.
There were no paved roads back then, so I imagine it was pretty congested.
So you didn't remember Canal Street was there? Sure.
I remember when I want to say it was back at the tracks. Yeah, I remember a couple of the bridges across there, but that was meant. I was a long, long time. I was a little bitty boy. The lady, what about?
Mrs. Rudd?
No, there was a biscuit coffee shop.
Boudreaux?
Was it Boudreaux's?
Yeah, she's Boudreaux.
Yeah, okay, right there.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
There,
yeah,
that's right.
Right by where the service station is today, maybe a little further back this way.
Seafood place,
right there. Yeah,
right.
Somewhere in there, many years ago. I remember that.
It's amazing that would have not only the history, but there's a good story about that halfway cemetery too.
The halfway cemetery.
Yeah, on the way to.
What you put in there? Halfway dead people?
Well, I guess so.
Huh?
If you have a coffin spell, you can go with that. but every time you go to home, you pass a halfway cemetery, and they have the Henry Scala.
Oh, okay.
But according to some people, he's not buried there. He was moved. And I remember my daddy telling me back, he's been dead 50 years, but before that, I can remember him telling me that Henry Scala was moved to St. Bridget Cemetery. And I want to go one day and go walk to him and see if I could find that, because the stories about the halfway cemetery show that Henry Scala's tomb was not cared for. It was all overgrown, and they tried to make it a parish place, but they couldn't do that because it's privately owned, and I don't know. I'm going to have to research that a little bit more and go by there. It's not kept up very well, but the big sign is up there.
It's still there, right, right. You like doing that, Gib?
Yeah. I like to go in the past. I think I was probably born in 1650 like you. This second time around. You believe that second time around?
I believe that. Listen, we got to take a short break. We got Gibbens Robichaux in the house this morning. Pour yourself another cup of coffee. Let me see if we can get to where we need to go here. I didn't even look at the computer screen this morning. Yeah, it's right on time, right on schedule. Now we got the right commercials. Yeah, we'll be right back. Pour yourself another cup of coffee here at Oldie 640 KTIB.
With me from Barbera Chevrolet Chrysler in Napoleonville. Don, what's new and going on at Barbera's?
Linda, great rebates have just started this summertime. Dodge has a $2.99 per gallon gas guarantee for the next 3 years, and that has just been extended. When was the last time you paid $2.99? In addition, Chevrolet has 0% financing on special models. Barbera's has more vehicles under one roof that gets over 30 miles per gallon than Toyota, Honda, Kia, Hyundai, and even Nissan. And Linda, let's not forget the leading full-size miles per gallon pickup SUVs, Silverado, Suburban, and Tahoe over 20 miles per gallon. Dodge and Chevrolet trucks with rebates and discounts up to $10,000 and some even higher.
Why shop anywhere else? All roads lead to Barbera's in Napoleonville, the oldest family-owned Chevrolet dealership in Louisiana. Tune in to KTIB every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for an information-packed hour with certified financial planner and attorney John Sorois, host of the Retirement and Estate Planning Show.
I want to change some things. I want the moms where I live to have child care they can trust.
I want to make sure my little brother and his friends have a safe place to play.
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more hardworking families learn how to budget and save.
I want more of my neighbors to have access to health care.
Want to make a difference? Help create opportunities for everyone in your community.
I want to change what I see around here.
United Way is creating real, lasting change where you live by focusing on the building blocks of a better life: education, income, and health.
I mean, I just want to see more smiles on my sidewalks.
Reach out a hand to one and influence the condition of all. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. For more, visit United Way at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
KTIB-AM 640, broadcasting live to Terrebonne, Lafourche, St. Mary's, St. James, and St. Charles parishes. We are your news, talk, and oldie station, AM 640.
Did you hear what Rush said yesterday?
Stay tuned. The Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is straight ahead. You know, folks, Al Gore is even more of an energy Bigfoot than he was last year. A year ago, the Tennessee Center for Policy Research revealed that Gore's home gobbled up more energy every month than the average American household uses in a year. So Al Gore publicly claimed that he's going to make his home more green in line with his rhetoric. A year later, Newsbusters has revisited the subject, and guess what? Not only did Al Gore's green renovations fail to bring energy costs down at his mansion, the former vice perpetrator actually increased his energy use over 10%. In the last year, Al Gore has used over 200,000 kilowatt hours of electricity. That's enough power to run 232 average American homes for a month. All this nonsense about carbon footprints that Al Gore spouts, all those diatribes urging you to reduce your CO2 output by getting rid of your SUV, changing your light bulbs, or face imminent doom. Nothing more than a bunch of hot air. Life inside the Gore household is typically do as I say, not as I do liberalism. And with decades of holier-than-thou political posturing, self-promotion, legions of incompetent journalists acting as his PR army, Al Gore has transformed himself from a run-of-the-mill political hack to the face of the man-made global warming hoax. But generations from now, when historians look back, they're going to wonder how a charlatan like Gore pulled off this hoax and why so many of you fell for it. Hey, folks, what do you think topped the list of consumer complaints to the Federal Trade Commission for the 8th straight year? You know what it was? It was identity theft. Are you protected yet? Are you taking steps to protect your identity? More importantly, are you protected by LifeLock? Now, you may think that ID theft will never happen to you, but why even take the chance? This is something that you know you should do. Protect your identity. You know you should do it, so do it. Listen, another identity is stolen every 3 seconds, and the clock is still ticking. Look, if anybody knows what it takes to be the leader in their industry, it is I, El Rushbo. So believe me when I tell you it doesn't happen by accident. LifeLock is #1 because they are the best. Guarantee your good name today.
Call 1-800-440-4833 right now to get LifeLock and their $1 million total service guarantee. That's 1-800-440-4833 or go to lifelock.com. 1-800-440-4833.
KTIB-AM Thibodaux, home of Morgan City, is AM 640, a Gap Broadcasting Company radio station.
Louisiana Network News.
Hey, how about that? A little bit Saints go marching in. In fact, the Saints go to camp in what? Less than 2 weeks, huh? 7, 8, 9 days or whatever it is.
Yeah. can make the first one without getting hurt. All right, huh?
Football season fixing to crank up again already. Yeah, Gib gave me the. Boy, I tell you, if you contribute to the paralyzed veterans, you get a patriotic playlist, and it's got 30 songs on it. My Old Kentucky Home, Battle Hymn of the Republic, just for some of them. Yellow Rose of Texas, Dixie, Caissons Go Rolling Along, Yankee Doodle. I mean, just a wealth of songs on it. Gibbs gave me a copy. I made one for my truck, and I kept one here. And yeah, it's just, they got some good stuff on there. Saints go marching in. Of course,
Gene,
what?
John Philip Sousa was coming on a ship from Europe, and he was standing on the deck, and he heard this melody in the back. na 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 in his head, and he got a piece of paper and he scribbled out that melody on a stamp. And when he got back, he wrote the Stars and Stripes Forever. He was inspired by the boss upstairs. Stars and Stripes Forever became the national march. It took a long time to make it the national march, but it is.
John Phil, I mean, what a musician, what a songwriter.
160 marches he wrote.
Unbelievable. You know, of course.
Like Mozart, day and night, when they couldn't sleep, they'd get up and write. And Mozart said it wasn't him. He'd just sit at the table, and then God would take his hand and write the music out.
Yeah, these guys are different. I mean, they don't. Yeah, they don't travel in the same brainwave we do.
John Williams, the Boston Pops.
He was tremendous. Yeah, he was tremendous. I mean, what a
background of E.T. and
man,
Superman, and all those great songs he wrote.
You know, some of the world's. Yeah, you know, and you gotta wonder. What's gonna happen to all of that? You know, because you don't see much of that coming up anymore. Every now and then, I tell you, the only one I see doing anything at all is Yanni.
Yeah.
You know, and he's from Greece, I think, originally, right. and
no, but the kind of music they have now, and they're raising kids with that, they don't get that inspiration again, you know. We'll never
can't get it.
John Williams is the only one that could compare to Sousa in those, but it's just amazing. It's what they're exposed to from the moon on up. I feel that a woman should put a microphone or a listening on her when she's expecting
in the womb, right.
The vibrations of music mean so much, you know. But some hospitals have it in the delivery room, have music background, but it depends on what kind of background, you know. We need Gene Richard on the clarinet.
Oh, Lord, yeah, clarinet. I could.
Bass drum, Gene.
Well, let me tell you, you know, and you laugh, but I tell a story often, and Ann Lusky called in earlier, and she can vouch for that. I was so bad. This is no lie. I was so bad that for marching season and most everything, they made me play the bass drum instead of because I just couldn't play the doggone thing.
Well, where is it?
I have no freaking clue. I don't know where it is. It was I remember it was in a black case with white stripes. Martineau. I mean, it wasn't an expensive clarinet. My dad didn't have a lot of money. It wasn't,
of course.
You know, but...
Whatever you decided to play a clarinet.
That's Mr. Hoffman's fault, doggone, and I wanted to play the trumpet or something from the beginning, you know?
Well, because he's the one that gave us that CD. I know, he's amazing.
Him and Miss Mary Ann used to come around back when we were in elementary school and test you.
Yeah, I know,
They test your mouth, your whatever, embouchure, or what, I forgot even what you call it.
No,
but anyway.
none of those words.
I don't even know, but back then, you know, and, you suited for the clarinet. Well, man, I hated that horn. I hated that instrument, so I switched to the bass drum, and I've been happy ever since.
Well, we're talking about music. We got to talk about Jim Gorey. You know, Deborah Bourgeois Martin, Roland and Frances Bourgeois' daughter, went by James Gorey's house about 20 years ago and picked up 3 tapes of Thibodaux High in 1970, 71, and 72. And she recorded that, copied that, brought it back to him. And in this last year, she's made a CD, a beautiful CD of that music.
I'll be darned.
Including him singing Misty.
Oh, he was something else.
Singing Misty.
That was his favorite song.
Of course, she brought those tapes, priceless tapes, back to Jim Gorey in his house burned down a couple of years ago. All that was lost. But she made a CD out of it and put it at the library. Anybody can come pick that up. It's going to be in the next tidbits, just to remind you. But it's amazing, beautiful arrangement.
Mr. Gorey was the first one in this area, I would say, to beat to the tune of a different drummer.
Yeah, he sure was. Yeah.
You know, he was, and lots of traditional great musicians and great band teachers before him. You know, Bill Martin, Ann's dad.
Yeah, right, that's right.
And I mean, just lots along those lines. But those are called traditionalists.
That's right.
And Moosey Gorey came along, and he was not a traditionalist by any means.
No.
And really, I think, was one of the pioneers in putting high school bands the way they are today on the map in this area back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, great bands, and he was one of them.
Absolutely.
And remember when he took the band to Europe?
Oh yeah, it was after my right.
They had a going away mass at St. Joseph's, and I knew they were going to Austria, so I played Edelweiss at communion time, and then they had a concert after at the high school, and he dedicated Stars and Stripes to me. I wish I could have gone with him, but boy, he was something else, and good sense of humor. Great musician.
Great teacher. You know, people didn't get. You know, people thought a lot of times Moosey was full of you know what and this and that. But let me tell you something. He molded a lot of young kids. And steered them in the right direction, believe it or not. He just did it in a different way, is what I'm saying. And what a great guy, and you know, he's a person you want to be around.
Right.
You know, he was one of that type of person.
And Tim Rose,
yeah, they all came after.
And, down, that's right.
Those, you know,
they admired him. Tim's the director at Edie White now, and he still talks about. He remembers him, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, what a great. You know, what a great teacher. People didn't regard him as a teacher, but what a great teacher he actually was. Right. Turns out some tremendous kids. And he always believed, the thing I like about it is he always believed in handling his own problems. You know, when we had a problem with the band, it never got to the principal. He handled it in-house.
Yeah,
you know, now, it may have not been the orthodox way of handling it, but he handled it in-house. And he took care of his own problems. And, of course, the Thibodaux High Band from the mid-'60s on just blossomed into, for many years, as long as he was band director, just year after year after year. He hated marching bands. He had to do it, but he never liked. But he loved concert bands.
I know concert.
He loved concert music, but he hated marching bands.
It's funny how you listen to music, you can feel the director's intensity in it. You can feel that the way he directed these things. It's just these kids, music means so much to these children, rounding out their education, I think.
Well, you know, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier. You know, when you talk about the composers, when you look at the John Williamses and the Mozarts and the Sousas, and you're right. They were exposed to good music at an early age. You know, what's going to happen today with all this rap stuff? And that's not music.
No.
You know, what are our kids? What are my great grandkids going to be exposed to?
Right.
You know, I mean, I still try to play my stuff around the house. I mean, they laugh at me, but I mean, I'll play it. I don't care. Maybe one of them will hear it. You know, and do something.
These kids don't know who Mozart or Beethoven is. You know, God, some great Strauss. Johann Strauss, you know those waltzes are so beautiful, but you don't hear that anymore.
And people laugh at me, but I think that's why I like to go to the, it's the LPO now, the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. I mean, that's about the only place you can go.
You come to Thibodaux, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the only place you can go and really get a taste of what that was.
That's right.
What that was like, you know, and I mean, just tremendous talent and just tremendous music.
Music is.
And I know you're born and raised with music.
Oh, great.
Your whole life was music.
Exactly. And then Lindy came to town, Lindy and Marianne came to town, and that's when Thibodaux exploded. They got some great bands in this area as a result of that, you know.
Sure.
Marhoff music, remember Marhoff music, right?
Sure.
Of course, Bill Martin made one record. I have that record. I'm going to have to get it copied so you can play.
Well, he was a good piano player, if I remember, huh?
Yeah. He had chances of playing with big bands up in the Midwest, but they decided to come back to Thibodaux. But he was a great musician, too.
Oh, absolutely. He was, I think, like I'm telling you, he was a traditional pioneer, and Moosey kind of came in and broke the mold a little bit. He went in another direction, but back in, and still do today, thank goodness, you know, thanks to those guys. I'd say, you know, the Hoffmans and Mr. Bill and Moosey, and thanks to those guys, music is what it is today in this area.
Remember in Tidbits, we said one time back in 1900, they had 19 bands in this area.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that, those stage bands.
That was everything, you know. They had cruise ships coming down the bayou, and these bands would get on there and play, you know. And it was just amazing. That's all they had. Then they had that little opera house on, what is West 4th?
An actual opera house?
Yeah, where the post office used to be. It's a post office. Is that West 4th? That's West 5th Street, where the post office used to be.
Yeah, okay.
It's a library office building now. That was the opera house.
Actual opera house.
And those kind of things in bands, and of course churches, you know, the church music was so predominant in those days. Every church had a choir, every church had an organ there, you know. Just amazing. But Thibodaux has a special flavor of music to it because of people like that, and because of the churches. We have some choirs that are out of this world.
Oh, absolutely. There was this choir, and something celebration. This choir that played for the Centennial.
Yeah.
This black choir, man, I mean, they were like awesome. They could have been on a national stage. They were like
Wasn't that
awesome.
Impressive in New Orleans yesterday, where that black church went to the Jewish temple and carried on like that with their music and everything.
Big breakthrough for the city of New Orleans. I would say, yeah. I heard it on the news last night, just a big breakthrough.
I understand they had several offers from Catholic churches, too. And they're staying here about a month in Jewish temple, and then they're going to try to fix up the other one and go to other churches. But what a great thing.
No, absolutely.
Jewish temple.
Absolutely.
On the back. Boy, they were that music. You talk about music. The black people have really good music and real rhythm. I think the first musical instrument, if you want to call it, ever invented was the drum. You know, it had to go way back in. When they try to talk to each other.
Shoot, you had to have somebody keep the beat.
Gene Richard playing bum 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 bum. That's right. You talk to each other like that, you know.
That's right. Yeah, and Boy, I don't know, just...
I guess the flute was the next one. Somebody got a little...
Like a toenet or something,
yeah. Something in those days from an old reed.
You ever played a toenet?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I know. It's very simple, you know. I had a little saxophone.
Why couldn't I learn how to play that, Gib? It's not so simple. Don't be saying it's simple.
Well, I'm going to bring a drum up here one day, and I'll bring my little saxophone, and we're going to play it.
I can't carry a tune in number 3 tub, much less. But I do enjoy good music, and I always did, and always will.
Medicine.
Yeah, it is. Soothing for me. You know, everybody's got their therapist. I guess that's my therapy.
When I had my cataract surgery several years ago, the doctor's name was Strauss. And I had the first operation. After that, I said, Dr. Strauss, you can't believe it. You would, in your operating room, not play Strauss waltzes. So the next one, I went back, showed up.
Strauss.
Yeah, Strauss waltz. Da, 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 dum, dum, dum. I played that at Kenneth Toops' funeral.
Yeah,
he was a great musician. He loved the piano, too. He loved Strauss. I played it at his funeral.
Lots and lots of musicians in this area. Not to change the subject, before we leave, and we got to get out of here a little bit earlier, because I got to roll a little bit early this morning, but before we leave, Tony Snow. 53 years old, died of cancer.
I always admire him.
Oh, what a guy. He was...
I loved when he get out against that. What was her name? Helen?
That Helen O'Connell, yeah.
That woman down there, she'd give him... Well, he wouldn't take anything from him, boy. He was a good spokesman.
Yeah.
He'd still been there if he hadn't had that scare.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He loved...
He was cured, but then it came back and...
Fox News had a special on him yesterday morning, and they replayed it again last night, and I got to see it. I mean, just a tremendous...
Go to that funeral. He was so impressive, and a unique voice. When you heard that voice, you knew who it was.
Yeah.
Tony Snow.
And they all regarded him, you know, and of course, when you get up, he was fair.
Yeah.
You know, and all the thrust of the program last night was his fairness and his integrity in the journalism business.
Highly respected.
You know, apparently there's a lot of things that go on there that are not so...
exponentially.
Exponentially. What are they doing? Killing the neutral? They shooting them? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah, they all got to go early in the morning with their rifles.
Okay,
and when they come out the water, they shoot them in the water. But then they got to try to find the carcasses because they're breaking everything up.
Right.
But when they find them, they take them and feed them to the zoo animals.
Oh, that's good.
But you tell me that you used to cook that.
Let me tell you, I cooked neutral once I ain't going to say to people that were there. I barbecued it once, and people till today don't know what they ate.
You didn't tell them what it was.
And I won't. I guarantee you. I won't. But, yeah, it ain't nothing to brag about, believe me. There's not a whole lot you can do. Yeah, it's not a whole lot.
Alligator? You ever eat alligator?
Oh, I eat alligator. Oh, yeah. I mean, alligator's good. Yeah, it's a croc, all right. It's a good croc, too. But
tell me.
Yeah, the old neutral. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with it other than the pelts. At one time, I mean, there was a demand for the pelts, but since everybody's
so
against
many now. That's right.
everybody's against anti-fur.
You used to get $9 a pelt, I believe, in those days. Boy,
yeah, that was the trappers were they were hoping it would replace the muskrat.
No.
You know, but it didn't.
But the story in the paper today says that it is impossible to think that we would ever get rid of them. You will never get rid of them. They have 15 in each litter, and they just reproduce, and Louisiana has 1 million of them. You just got to keep shooting them and try to stop them.
I don't mean it to be cruel, but yeah, you guys got to keep it. The best thing you can hope to do is keep it under control.
That's right.
You know, I mean, they play havoc with sugarcane ditches and sugarcane farms and their drainage canals and their levees and the whole bit, crawfish just like anything else. You know, I mean, they a mess.
And they got to eat too.
Yeah, they're a mess, guarantee it. Listeners, we got to run a little early today. Gib, thanks for being with us.
Okay, go ahead.
Really appreciate it. But before we go, hey, don't forget Charter Triple Play. More important now than ever with the rising cost of gas. You got to be spending more time at home and looking to save money. Here's how some of your relief can come by calling or coming by a Charter office and have them evaluate your current household bills. I did. By bundling your cable, internet, and phone with Charter most of the time, they can save you and your family enough to offset the rising fuel costs. In most cases, Charter will give you more channels, faster internet speeds, and unlimited local and long-distance callings at a lower rate. So get Charter Triple Play. Give them a call, www.charter.com, and the other one is 1-800-1888-GET-CHARTER. Give them a call. I did. You'll be glad because they'll save you some money. Hold on. We're going to take this call before we go. Good morning. You're live, KTIB.
Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Lloyd.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with pot-roasted young nutrient.
That's what you do with it?
I can attest to it.
You find
a fried. Yeah, I got a little story to tell you real quick.
All right.
When I was in the military and I was stationed up at Barksdale, a friend of mine from Tennessee, and I was a federal game warden that month, on the reservation, and we come across us 5 little young nutras, So I proceeded to get out my rifle, and we brought them back and I cleaned them up. And I was always cooking out there at the office. And guys used to, whenever they found out I was cooking, they'd come in, because we always had rabbits, squirrels, stuff like that. And I'm in the kitchen, I'm frying up some of this stuff. And, man, they all talking about how good it was and everything. And then Stoney, a friend of mine, he said, y'all know what that Cajun cooking make there? He said, yeah, there's got to be some of that rabbit and squirrel and stuff. He said, well, he got something a little different today. And this neutral meat is real white.
Yep.
And he said, well, he's got some neutral. Well, none of them knew what it was. So he went outside, got one of the heads, showed it what it was. Two of them hit the door running.
Well,
and that's the idea. People don't realize that a lot of that stuff is good, but when you tell them what it is, then it ain't so good.
Yeah, we did it a couple of times at the camp, and I mean, it was okay, but it's not nothing I want a regular diet of. But you're telling me the young ones are better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, heck, I'm game. I'm game. I'll try it again.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Thank you. How you feeling, all right?
I'm feeling
Continue
great.
to improve? Great, man. Good deal.
I'm getting better and stronger.
Good. Glad to hear it. Lloyd Smith, thanks for calling.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. Hey, you heard it here first. A new recipe for young Nutra. Pot fried and pot fried, he said, and on the skillet. I'll try it again, but good way to maybe eradicate them a little bit if we find somebody to eat them, or find something to eat them anyway. But listeners, we got to run. Thanks for listening this morning. God bless you today. God bless you every day. We got Thibodaux Playhouse tomorrow. We got Norman Lusky coming in. We'll be talking about the play this coming up the next 2 weeks. So do something nice for somebody today, and we'll see you tomorrow here at Oldie 640 KTIB.